This is Ashton Marcus, and I'm on location at Stages Theater for the presentation of Boeing Boeing.
My name is Ashton Marcus. I'm with KUCI, 88.9 FM in Irvine, and you're?
My name is Phil Nieto. I've been involved in the theater scene here for a little over 2 years now. Most of my training is in sketch and improv. I'm a graduate of Second City, Hollywood, and do a lot of sketch and improv out there in theater. And I played Robert in Boeing Boeing. Robert is the best friend from childhood of Bernard, our main character. Shows up at his apartment unannounced, which is where the play is set. And he basically goes from a country bumpkin, learning Bernard's ways of having multiple fiancées, and tries to help him cover his tracks with all his 3 fiancées, and in the process kind of tries to take a couple of them away from him, because he realizes that after all, in the end, Bernard can't have all 3. And so it's kind of Robert's journey from going from scared and nervous to learning that he can kind of deal with all the madness.
Did you see the original movie of this with Jerry Lewis?
I have seen it, yes.
Did you take anything from it, or did you decide not to use it?
The movie went on a different path, so I didn't use a whole lot from it. Because Brian, who plays Bernard, and I did the sequel to this play, Don't Dress for Dinner, last year, we had our characters pretty much set, and that was before I'd seen the movie. So I already knew who I thought Robert was going in. And so the movie, they changed some things. Their relationship was different. Their relationship in the movie is much more adversarial, whereas in the play, it's much more friendly. And so, no, I didn't take a whole lot from the movie, to be honest.
Yeah, I really loved your performance here. I really loved the take you took into it, because I've seen Boeing Boeing before, and I've seen people trying to play down Jerry Lewis. They're doing Jerry Lewis, but a mild version of it. But you took it in a totally different round. I just loved it.
Well, thank you so much. Yeah, and it was a lot of it was just it's written in there, and it took some time, and obviously great direction from Amanda DeMeo to help me figure out how Robert was feeling in these situations. And, we worked through it together and bounced ideas off of each other, and it was really kind of a collaborative effort putting the character together and kind of figuring out how he should progress through the play from scared to confident.
Yeah. I've actually noticed that, because you took a different route. The whole focus came on you, because I've seen that character being like the supporting actor, but it seems more like you're down with the leading actor. What do you think about that?
I don't, and that was not my intention, obviously. Robert is out there for 90% of the play. Other than one scene in the beginning and a scene in the middle, even when it's other people's scenes, I'm there in the background. So it's a lot of kind of figuring out, even when the scene's not about me, how is Robert feeling? What is he doing? How is he reacting to what's going on around him? And so it was a lot of kind of just figuring out those moments and trying to stay true to how he would be feeling.
How did that happen? Because, I could imagine the director coming in, starting this play. Tony Curtis is usually the lead. We got Jerry Lewis over here. Let's read the script. And suddenly, at the end of the play, we have the supporting actor being the keystone here, being the main focus. How did that happen?
I guess you could say the pieces just fell together. I wasn't aware that it was viewed that way. I went into the script reading it, and after doing Don't Dress for Dinner last year, I felt that we were kind of co-leading men. I never saw it as a leading man and a supporting man, and I think Brian is probably the same way. I think we both went into it thinking, co-leading men with the women, and so I never put any thought to one trying to pull back to be a supporting man. That never crossed my mind, but also I never had any intention to try and make Bernard's character the supporting man either. It was, we were trying to build something together and make things funny, make people laugh together, and I think we found some good stuff and we're able to do that.
Well, again, I really liked your portrayal of this. Thank you very much. Yeah, thank you very much for being on the show.
Absolutely, thank you so much. I appreciate your time.
Hi, my name is Ashton Marcus. I'm with KUCI 88.9 FM in Irvine, and you're?
My name is Brian Fickner. I am a theater actor here in Orange County, do a lot of work at stages, and have appeared on some other stages in the area as well, and I'm currently working in the solar industry. I played Bernard. Bernard is a guy who lives in early 1960s Paris in a very swank apartment, and he's juggling 3 fiancées. None of them know that the others exist. I have an old school friend that comes to stay in town with me for a while, and everything just goes kablooey.
I've noticed that you make Bernard a British actor. Was that from the director, or did you just come up with it yourself?
That was from the particular translation that we were working off of. The script translation had us as English. I know there's a few different translations and versions of it, so we went with that one.
Yeah, I've seen actually the movie with Tony Curtis in there, and he played it more of an American type.
Right. They had. I haven't seen the movie, but I have read, about it and know a little bit about it. And they did swing it that way to have them actually Americans playing the two lead males in the show.
Okay, if you didn't base your character on Tony Curtis, who did you base your character on, or what kind of research did you do?
I didn't base it on anything. We did Don't Dress for Dinner last year about this time, which is the sequel to Boeing Boeing. So now we're actually doing the prequel to that. So we're going in reverse. As for basing it on anything, I just kind of went by what I would be like if I was in this situation, and trying to hide, women away, and at the same time try to keep them all in the same sphere as well. So. Yeah, it's a farce. So it's basically just kind of you're flying by the seat of the events. So
yeah, I actually like the way you portrayed it because it was a lot more original. I've seen a lot of people just doing impersonations of Tony Curtis.
Really? Well, thank you.
All right. Well, thank you very much for being on the show.
Yes, thank you very much. I had my pleasure.
Hi, my name is Ashton Marcus. I'm with KUCI 88.9 FM in Irvine, and you're?
Michelle Lynn. This is actually my first play that I've ever done. I do musical theater around Orange County. I work at Your Belinda Spotlight Theater Company, teaching voice and piano, and I love performing. I play Gretchen, the German stewardess. Gretchen is an overly dramatic and lovable character. She is in love with Bernard, who is her fiancé, but things quickly go awry when his friend Robert comes to town, and I don't want to spoil anything, but I get to kiss a lot of people.
Yeah, actually I've heard complaints from female actors that basically they feel there aren't enough substantive roles for women actors. Do you think this play is just nostalgic? This is just the way they did it in the old days. I believe it was done like in the 60s or something like that.
Oh, yeah, it's definitely from the 60s, and there's a lot of things that we do kind of have to think in our own characters. How can we make this relatable to an everyday audience, to an audience today? So you find the depths of those characters that maybe they weren't completely seen back in the 60s, but you feel it in the characters, and which is why you find those levels of love and craziness all at the same time.
So would you take this as just a light-hearted comedy that there's really no meaning behind it?
I would say there's a lot of meaning behind it. It's, follow your heart, especially for Gretchen. She follows her heart. She wears her heart on her sleeve, and she's not afraid to scream it out to the rooftops.
All right, well, thank you very much for being on the show.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Hi, my name is Ashton Marcus. I'm with KUCI 88.9 FM in Irvine, and you're?
Hi, I'm Brianna Pickford. I am Los Angeles native, moved down to Orange County, and have been participating in the theater scene here for about 2 years now. Was doing theater back up in LA and studied it in school, so now I'm happy to just be doing it for fun here. I played Gabriella, the Italian stewardess in Boeing Boeing. Gabriella is a saucy Italian lady, and she's a flight attendant. She comes and she loves Bernardo. She's coming home from a long journey, around the world on one of her flights. She has a couple of hours to spend with him, so she, loves him, and he's her fiance, and so she's just like, all she wants to do is marry him, and she's just so happy, but she gets thrust into this craziness of two other fiancés and his new friend that has come and visited him in town. So it's been, it's just this wild ride, and it just escalates to craziness until she finds out about, one of the other fiancés.
So how did you distinguish your character from the other three women? I mean, how did you give your own personality to it?
Well, she's Italian, so that helped a lot. And it was all written in the script, really. The other two have their quirks. Gabriella is just passionate and loves Bernard, and that's like her main goal is to get him to marry her. And I think that's different from the other girls. They've got other things in mind, and other things happen to them. But Gabriella is just focused on getting her man and having Bernard to herself.
Do you have any comments on the role of women actors nowadays? I mean, is there enough roles out there with substance and meat in them?
That's a good question. I've enjoyed working on this project. I was actually thinking that, like, what a good show for women to do. You have 4 different huge personalities and all of the women in the show, and I wish there were more pieces like this where it wasn't focused on the men and where we can really have female comedic roles that we can all just dive into. And it's been a wild ride and been so much fun.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much for being on the show.
Thank you very much.
Hi, my name is Ashley Marcus. I'm with KUCI 88.9 FM in Irvine, and you're?
I'm Alexis Starry. I play Gloria in Boeing Boeing. I'm an undergraduate student at Azusa Pacific University studying communications and theater arts, and this is my first show with Stages. I play Gloria, the American fiancée. Gloria is a modern-thinking young woman from New York who is very open with what she thinks and makes sure that everyone knows what's on her mind.
This play was actually done during the sexual revolution. Is that true?
Absolutely, and Gloria, I think, is kind of the representation of that. She has very modern ideas of what a relationship should look like, so she's not necessarily committed to the older ideals of monogamy like Bernard.
Yeah, I've actually heard people, some women, female actors, find that it's somewhat offensive because it's like there's this history of women not getting very meaty roles or being, having stereotypes there. And again, because this was done during the sexual revolution, do you find that problematic?
I don't think that it's necessarily offensive. I mean, depending on when a period piece was, or when the period that a piece was written in, that's going to impact the way that women are shown in that role. So, I mean, if you get something that was written before the sexual revolution, you're much more likely to end up with an ingenue type role where the women aren't very meaty characters. They're kind of dependent on the characters that the men play. But the thing I love about Gloria in Boeing Boeing is it is such a different kind of role than something that a young woman usually gets to play. Usually someone like me would end up in an ingenue type role that's very dependent on the male. And Gloria is very independent. She has her own personality, her own ideas, and they don't conform to traditional standards. So it's really fun to play, I think.
Yeah, actually, I found your role. I've seen other plays of Boeing Boeing before, but I see you took a different take on it. You were a little more independent than the other ones. The other roles, I've actually seen them being more typical of the period.
I think that because Gloria has these really modern ideas of sexuality and relationships, to do something that's more dependent is. I don't think it does her justice. I think she has more to her than that. So that's why I decided to go with more of an independent and free-spirited version of Gloria.
Well, thank you very much for being on the show.
Thank you for having me.
Hi, I'm Ashley Marcus with KUCI 88.9 FM in Irvine, and you're?
Amy Lauren Geddes. I graduated from UCI with a degree in drama, and I've been acting in Orange County for probably about 30 years now. Hop around to different theaters, get in as much as I can between my day job.
And which character did you play?
Bertha. Bertha is a maid in Paris. She really is the person who helps Bernard keep things churning so that he doesn't get caught with bringing 3 different women in and out of his Parisian apartment all of the time. She's one of the only people in the house who knows what's going on besides him.
Yeah, I've seen UCI do this before, this play. Did you do it with them, or have you ever seen them do it before?
No, I graduated a good long time ago.
Okay. Yeah, again, I was told by them that this is actually a French farce, and they have classical things about French. One of the things about the classical French farce is the servants are usually smarter than the masters.
I would agree with that. That's, yes, definitely true in this particular show. Yeah.
Yeah, but I also noticed that you didn't push it that much. You didn't seem as dominant. Because, again, the movie was slightly different. It was more American domestic help and all that. So did you tone it down, or did you try to push forward, or what do you think about that?
Well, as far as the movie, it's a completely different piece, really. They changed the storyline quite a bit. They changed... the women were all different ethnicities. They had, instead of an American, they had someone from the UK. They turned the Italian into a French woman. The French maid was American instead. So it really changed a lot of the meat of the story, just inherently through that. I think, as far as me, I don't think I toned it down. I think I think Bertha very much knows what's going on in every scene and just is living in the moment because it is flying. Everybody is flying through that house so fast, she just has to keep going as fast as she can to try and keep up.
Do you feel that these pieces, because again, this was done during the sexual revolution, so obviously characters are written the way the writers were at that point in time.
Right.
Do you feel that it basically causes a stereotype to be drawn from it?
Yeah, I think the women are pretty stereotypical, honestly. But that's, in any farce, the characters tend to be stereotypical. You have to have them be bigger than life and caricatures almost, and just bring in real human personalities with that larger than life. I don't know how to say it. With being bigger than you normally would, but still have real human emotion.
Well, thank you very much for being on the show.
Thank you.
Boeing Boeing will be playing at Stages Theatre from May 8th to June 14th. For more information, go to www.stagesoc.org or theorangecurtainrev.com.